an update on my little Chinese backhoe I got at the beginning of the year. Used it a few times. It works pretty good. Of course, I bought the cheapest one because I thought I just need it for a few jobs, and there's going to be some issues on it. First of all, just for a lesson for everybody, I bought this. You have to buy your pump separate. I bought on Amazon, and the one I bought the first time, the flow was too high. Ended up being like 10 gallons a minute. I didn't pay attention to it. I thought it was going to be a small pump. When it came in, it was really big. And of course, flow is heat, so the heat just really jumped up on this thing. So I had to go back and buy another pump. It ended up being like 4.5 gallons a minute. That seems to be the happy spot. So I think it's like 2,200 psi at 4.5 gallons a minute, I think. And then I also noticed when you hook up the 3-point to it, my top link was too long. My tractor had, so I had to buy a shorter top link. Because what was happening is that I had to adjust it where my top link would either be up or down. So when you got this thing in a bind, it allowed it to twist. So, I noticed if you keep your 3-point and this parallel, it makes it a lot more rigid. You guys can see that or not, but that was a big help. I learned that. Had an issue down here on the very bottom pivot pin. You guys can see it right there. Oh, it's a little keeper pin right there. It was bending. I've got one here that I took off. Actually broke a couple of them. And I contacted Titan, supposed to have a 1-year warranty. They sent me 10 pins. So I put another one in there. Of course, greased it like crazy. Same thing, except pin pivots with the boom as it goes up and down. And it was like in a bind, I guess, or something. So what I did is, one rainy day, I just decided, heck with it, I was going to do a hillbilly heat treat on it. And I did. I heat treated. I just took a little propane torch, got the end of it, glowing red the best I could, dunked it into some cooking oil and let it go to rest and come back to ambient temperature. That's the one I did, and that's been on there since. So that seems to work. I guess these pins here just too soft. So that fixed that issue. And really, that's it so far. And I did get this the other day. We're going to try it because a lot of times we don't need that big bucket. So I got the little 8-inch bucket. Costs like $300, I think, but I think it'll be well worth it. So if we're doing water lines, small plumbing projects, or even planting small trees or large trees, I think that's going to come in real handy without making a big old mess. But overall, of course, like I said, it's cheap Chinese backhoe, but for what we're using it for, I think it's doing pretty good. Just trying to give you guys some heads up on it because there's really not much information out there on YouTube or whatever on these things. So, but after I'm through shredding, it's been hot and rainy here in Central Texas for some reason. So everything's growing like crazy, so I'm out there shredding again. But once I'm through with that, here in about another couple of weeks, I'll get this thing hooked up and see what that little bucket does.